Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. And today we have a really special item that we are reviewing today. And I mean really special because it is our first Jurassic World 2024 figure. In case all you know, a lot of the Mattel 2024 figures are already hitting stores this early into, or this late into 2023 when they should be coming out next year with their proper year. But you know what, that doesn't matter because that means we all get some special new toys to celebrate the end of 2023, I guess. But anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at a very exciting figure that I've been hunting down at Walmart for a while now, and that is the Jurassic World Epic Evolution Ruthless Rampage Allosaurus. So this is a brand new Allosaurus figure from Mattel, and I am really excited to get a closer look at it. So as you can see, it is a brand new sculpt for an Allosaurus, and everything about it just looks really cool, and I can't wait to get into it. But let's take a look at this new packaging because this is brand new for this channel anyways. It is the new Epic Evolution packaging. We got a much different logo set up right here. Instead of the main logo, we got just the T-Rex skull up here, which looks really cool. I love the detail on it. And then down here we just got just the Jurassic World logo. Looks really cool. Kind of reminds me of the font, or just the vibe from the first Jurassic World. And then in the back you got like a whole bunch of like mountains, or from like an island or on the mainland or something. And then we got the Epic Evolution logo, which looks really cool. And you can see the little wheel right there to pretty much represent the new feature for all these toys. The Mattel logo. And then it says they're still continuing the environment thing that the Dino Trackers did. So this guy, this Allosaurus anyways, is part of the river environment. So basically walking along like the shoreline or stuff like that. So that's really cool. Here on the side, you got the Jurassic World logo, and then the Epic Evolution logo. And here on the back, we got the Epic Evolution logo again, fax app information. A lot of cool stuff with this cool render of this Allosaurus. And then it says right here, evolved for battle. So that's a really interesting feature. We'll get into that and further into the review. And then you can see the little wheel feature, and it makes sounds. And then the other figures in the lineup, which at the point of this recording are already starting to hit Walmart, so I haven't seen them yet, but we got the Neovenator and the Triceratops, which I'm really excited to get, both of those. So that's pretty much it with this, the intro here for this figure. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to daylight, and then we'll take a closer look at this figure. And here we have the new Ruthless Rampage Allosaurus out of the package. And here we go again, another year with another Allosaurus toy, and this one is actually a pretty good improvement, or I guess a slight improvement from the past Allosaurus that we've gotten from Mattel. But anyways, looking at this thing in hand and out of the box, and looking at it in its full glory, it looks really good, I will say. And dare I say it, I think it might be, at least in my opinion, the best Allosaurus from Mattel. Sure, maybe there are a few things on here that maybe I don't really, I guess, care about, but I mean, there really isn't anything I hate about this figure at all. I just think that, with this figure, it definitely is a better Allosaurus, in my opinion, at least in terms of movie accuracy. Yeah, for right now, I'm pretty impressed with this figure, and taking a look at it here, it looks really good. And hopefully you guys can see everything with the lighting I have and all that. But yeah, really great figure. Really big one too. It's a really big Allosaurus figure. It's pretty much the same size as the extreme damage one that we got for the Dominion line last year. It's crazy because we got that Allosaurus last year, right? And it was already the more superior Allosaurus. And all of a sudden, almost like a year later, or I guess the following year, this year we get this Allosaurus, and it's just even better, in my opinion. So it's just pretty cool how we're just getting all this stuff. But obviously, rumor has it that this Allosaurus, due to its somewhat stylized animated look and all that, is this is supposed to be a dinosaur that's going to be featured in the next Netflix Jurassic World show, Chaos Theory, which is a sequel to Camp Cretaceous. And I guess I'm hearing that Allosaurus is going to be appearing in that show. So it's going to be a first animated look for this dinosaur, and this is what everyone's been speculating because of the stylized look of this Allosaurus. And it probably is pretty interesting how this Allosaurus wasn't even in any Chaos Theory packaging, so don't know what that is. But anyways, let's just focus on the review of this dinosaur. But like I said, really nice looking one. I'm definitely loving this figure. The proportions are really great on this one, definitely a lot better than the previous Allosaurus models that Mattel has been using, and the detail is about the same. The paint job is really nice. I think it's just the overall sculpt, just the fact that it's a new sculpt is the only thing that kind of stands out to me, with it being different from the other ones. So we can take a look at some of the details. So taking a look at the head here, the head, in my opinion, is a lot more movie accurate in terms of the shape, because I think the past Allosaur sculpts, the head was actually based off of the animatronic of the Allosaurus head they were going to use, or they were using for Battle at Big Rock, because the animatronic head is a bit different when you look at the CGI render of the dinosaur, and this one matches the CGI, whereas the past figures from Mattel, they more looked like the animatronic, and it's slightly different. But the head is pretty cool here, very movie accurate. I do like it a lot. Lots of nice scale work all throughout the entire body, pretty much. But in terms of the head, you also got a lot of cool scratch marks only on this side of the face, which is actually very accurate to the main adult Allosaurus we've been seeing in the Jurassic franchise, specifically Battle at Big Rock and Dominion. The Allosaurus, the adult Allosaurus they used, had scratches on this side of the face, and I think it's very accurate because it has some here at the bottom of or right here around the ridgeline of the upper jaw, and then here around the snout area. Very accurate, which is really nice. Here at the top of the head, you know, got a lot of nice detailed look on it. Very menacing Allosaurus face. And then obviously you can tell this is a stylized figure because the eye is a bit larger than their other figures that Mattel has made, because usually if it's from a live action movie, it's just the eyes are going to be a bit smaller, more proportionate. This one's a bit larger, which is usually like a characteristic for an animated character. So that kind of gave us a hint of this Allosaurus being in this new Chaos Theory series. Now, one thing that I know people have been kind of annoyed at is the large teeth on this Allosaurus. Yes, they are really really big and very long, but it really doesn't bother me, because if you look at the animatronic of the Allosaurus head used for Battle at Big Rock, that Allosaurus has got really extremely long teeth, and they look ridiculously long. Like it doesn't even look natural or something you really would see in the wild for a dinosaur like this. And you know, it's just a characteristic of a Jurassic Park Allosaurus, pretty much. And this is the teeth here are kind of reminiscent of that, in my opinion. I'll go ahead and show you a picture of the animatronic. So as you can see, the teeth on that thing are really long and pretty odd and gnarly looking, and that's kind of like what they captured with this figure, and I really do like it. And I also like how the teeth are just a sculpted rubber, so they are not painted or anything, so you're not going to get any scuff marks when kids are playing with this, which is awesome. I love how Mattel's been doing that with their figures lately, and I hope they continue to do that. So I really do like it, and with them being modeled plastic or rubber, it allows them to look sharper instead of the more rounded, sculpted teeth that they just paint on the figure. So I really do like that. That's a huge plus. Here on the inside of the mouth, you got a nice dark blue tongue that's reminiscent of all the other Allosaurus figures from Mattel. And you got some nice detail on the roof of the mouth and the inside. The inside of the mouth is like a nice glossy painted color. It's actually its own separate plastic piece. It's not painted, so it's modeled in this pink fleshy color. Same with the gum flaps, and then the tongue there might be just painted, but everything else is just like its own little separate piece, which is really nice. really cool looking. And then as we move on to the neck, or basically the entire body, you got this nice array of scoots or plates, whatever you want to call them, all over the entire back of the Allosaurus. Like I said, very accurate to the Jurassic World or the movie Allosaurus. A lot more accurate than the previous representations that Mattel's given us. Although it's not 100% accurate, though it does represent it better than previous releases. You know, you got the large row of spikes up here that continue on along the entire, basically the spine, and then you got like this other row of spikes right here that go along the entire body. It's like a double row that goes all the way along to the tail. At least in the movie one, it would have had another extra line of scoots between the spine area and here, but you know, it is what it is. But it does give off like this really cool armored plating look to it, so it's almost like this dinosaur ain't gonna go down without a fight, and it's gonna be pretty difficult to attack from above because it's got all these tough armored scales. It even looks really cool on the tail, like look at that. Really cool. The spikes right here on top of the head are actually like a really hard, stiff rubber, so it's not plastic like the rest of the body. It's its own separate piece that you can kind of see. It's like it's connected to the body. But other than that, you know, really cool looking. There could have been a bit more spikes poking out right here to make it just a bit more accurate, but you know, it is what it is. It looks really good no matter what. And you got a lot of nice scale work all over the entire figure itself, which is really nice. Mattel's really good in terms of their detail, which looks really good. And you know, the muscle definition poking through is really nice. You know, scale work on the arms are nice. The hands are looking great. And here on the legs are great. And the feet are great. A lot better proportionate. The legs themselves are a huge improvement from the past figures. But yeah, they look really nice. All the toe claws are painted really nice. We usually don't get a whole lot of that, especially with these larger figures, but that is a huge plus. Unfortunately, we don't have the dew claw painted or the finger claws, but you know, it is what it is. I think we're all kind of used to it at this point. And then, like I said, you got a lot of nice folds and wrinkles in the skin, and the muscle definitions, you know, the muscle poking through the skin. It adds to the lifelike look of these dinosaurs, but also just a little bit more movement to the figure themselves. And then the rest of the tail is like greatly detailed with a lot of these scales. And then the osteoderms, or the little bumps on the body themselves, are nicely sculpted as well, so that's really cool. And then the tail, interestingly, is made out of a bendy, not really a bendy, but a really soft rubbery material, so it's almost like real feel, which it does have like a real feel effect because the scales and the osteoderms and the plates, they feel really lifelike. But it's also really cool how it's made out of this bendy, squishy material. It's not super squishy, it's a lot more stiff and firm, but you can definitely feel it. So that is really cool. I really do like that. But yeah, this figure is just greatly detailed, and I love everything about it. In terms of the colors are pretty spot on, you know, for the Jurassic World Allosaurus. It was always like in this beige, like lightish brown color for the main part, with some blue, you know, blue around basically the top half of the dinosaur itself, and that is represented on this figure very well, in my opinion. And you got a nice yellow eye with a blue pupil. That's just the same blue they used for the body. Would have been nice if it was black, but it's a darker blue anyway, so it looks good no matter what. And with the complete painted mouth, it adds just to the completeness of this figure. It looks really good. And the way how the blue just kind of splatters and into this lighter color is really cool, even on the legs themselves. So yeah, this figure definitely feels complete with all this paint, which looks really good. So yeah, the paint is excellent on this figure. We'll go ahead and take a look at the scan code, which is on the leg here. So much like the Real Feel T-Rex and the Dino Trackers and Indominus Rex, it's really cool. He got some scratches right there. It's almost like it's a dino damage piece from like the old Kenner line. But if you pull it down, there is the scan code with the cool Jurassic T-Rex logo right there. And I like how the inside is almost sculpted like as if it was like muscle. If this was painted like red, that would be really cool. It'd almost be like a dino damage piece, but it also allow you to scan this dinosaur into the Jurassic World Facts app, which is a really cool attention to detail. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in terms of just the main figure itself. We'll go ahead and take a look at articulation. So both arms can move up about that far, and then back about that far. So not a whole lot, but enough to get the job done. And they can pivot in and out. It's a bit stiff, so please be careful. I noticed this on all the Allosaurs that I found at my Walmart, but they can move in and out, so you got some nice range of motion there. The legs do not have a whole lot of articulation. Okay, they can't pivot in and out, unfortunately, and they can't move forward and backwards all that much too. So the legs here, this one can move about that far and move forward about that far. So not a whole lot of motion, which is really interesting. But you know what? It moves enough where you can pose it in different poses. So that is really good. And then you got the tail piece right here, which can rotate and then swivel left and right. So pretty good range of motion on the tail, so you can get some cool poses. One thing I do want to say is that the proportions on this Allosaurus, like I said, are really accurate to the movie Allosaurus. The movie one had really long legs, which is what this one represents. It has really long legs, and it's always in a slouched position, so like the body is like hanging down with its head closer to the ground, excuse me, instead of a full horizontal pose, I guess. I'm at a loss of words when explaining that, but it's a lot less horizontal and more like slanting down, which is, like I said, accurate to the movie Allosaurus. But yeah, that's pretty much it for articulation. Nothing a whole lot going on. The rest is actually due to the action feature, which this is our first Epic Evolution figure for this channel. This is our first Epic Evolution action feature to be shown off on this channel. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it. We'll take a look at the spikes, or the evolved feature of this dinosaur. So Epic Evolution, I'm assuming, probably means these dinosaurs are just evolving from their normal state, you know, maybe evolving to adapt to certain environments, probably, which is actually a pretty cool concept if you ask me. But yeah, you got a button right here on the tail, and you can see the spikes here, at least the ones that are casted in a light blue plastic, which doesn't look too bad, but sometimes it can look a little distracting because it's a different color than the normal dark blue on the body. But if you at least switch the button to the left and right, it makes the spikes come out, at least these back ones. So that's really interesting. I know for sure the Jurassic World Allosaurus does not do this. Okay, these little osteoderms would have been just like this. They'd just be short and stubby and just sit there. These larger spikes are just going to be sitting there. You know, it's kind of weird to see these individual spikes just grow randomly. So I'm not sure if this is going to be something in the show or not, or this could be just a cool little play feature for the kids, you know, which is, it's cool, but maybe something maybe we didn't need, in my opinion. They could have just added like a cool arm slashing feature, or just a tail swipe action. But you know what, it fits with the evolution gimmick, so it is pretty cool. I don't like how thick and fat the spikes look when they're coming out of the body. It just doesn't look really natural, in my opinion. From the side they look a bit better, but just way too thick. That's why I probably like it when the spikes are in, because it just looks a bit more natural, in my opinion. But either way, cool little feature. The next one is the main star of the Epic Evolution line, in my opinion, is this mouse wheel of a button right here. So it's, instead of a button that you push, or a little switch that you move back and forth, it's like literally a mouse rolly thing that you just move back and forth with your fingers, and it creates a lot of cool movements and actions and whatnot. So let's go ahead and test this out. So as you can see, this little wheel piece, you can move it one way. It just makes the head go up and down, makes it snap, makes it open its mouth and roar, which actually lets it stay in that pose. So that's gonna be really good for posing and all that. And it has some really cool sound effects, really loud ones too, but a really cool looking feature. And sometimes it can get a little stuck, so you either have to try to force it or you have to go the other way, which can work too. See, that looks really cool, the little pose there. And actually the wheel is actually made of a softer rubber, so kind of like the back of the head or the tail, so it makes for gripping it a lot more easier instead of having it be like a sharper or a harder plastic. All right, so judging by the action feature here, I like it. It's really fluent, at least with mine. It's a cool little puppeteering, animatronic looking gimmick, kind of like the primal attack, which I really did love that action feature for that one. You just move the tail and it makes the head move in realistic ways. I really like that. It's kind of what you're doing here, except it's not with the tail, it's with this button on the top. The sounds are great, and this is the one thing I loved. All of the past Allosaurus figures that we've gotten from Mattel would never give us official Allosaurus movie sounds. You know, the Allosaurus has appeared in, 3 movies already. You know, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, and Battle at Big Rock. And we've gotten so many Allosaurus figures, and yet they all reused Spinosaurus sounds, Indominus sounds, maybe even T-Rex sounds, or just unknown sounds that are not Allosaurus sounds at all. And one thing I love about this figure is that they finally given us the Allosaurus sounds that we needed. Unfortunately, they gave us the juvenile Allosaurus sounds from Fallen Kingdom instead of the adult Allosaurus sounds from Battle of Big Rock and Dominion, which is a pretty big miss, in my opinion, a missed opportunity. You know, it's pretty unfortunate to get a large adult Allosaurus figure, and yet Mattel gave us the juvenile sound effects from Fallen Kingdom, which, yes, it's a win. It's still Allosaurus sounds, but it would have been cool if we got the adult sounds. But you know what? It is what it is. It's still a solid figure. All right, so for comparisons, here we have a human figure, and as you can see, this Allosaurus is gigantic. So this is a really big dinosaur. Pretty scary just to think about standing next to a giant Allosaurus like this. So really cool there. And then next we will compare it with the other adult Allosaurus figures from Mattel. First one we got is the very first adult Allosaurus that we've gotten from Mattel, and this is the one from the Battle at Big Rock, I guess, toy line, even though it released like 2 figures for the Dino Rivals line. The only difference was just the different color packaging and then the little sticker that says "as seen in Battle at Big Rock." But it was really cool. That toy line, or this little surprise, you know, it was a surprise. It was unexpected just to see 2 figures part of Battle at Big Rock that we didn't even know at the time, and to see a different Allosaurus, you know, was pretty cool. And obviously later on we found out it was the adult Allosaurus, and this one's really good. Like I said, the head on these ones match the animatronic, whereas this one matches more of the CGI model. And as you can see, I like the spikes, how they're a bit more skinnier on this one. You know, here on the head, they're bigger here, small, then they're bigger here around the shoulder, and they're small, then they get bigger around the back end. And they kind of did that with this one, except the spikes are just a little bit more thicker instead of more thin and sharp looking. But, you know, other than that, it does look pretty good. And I will say, I really do love the colors on this one. I probably like these colors more than the other Allosaurs that we have, because I just love the tones of blue they have in this figure, like the dark blue and this really cool looking light blue. I don't know, I really love the blue colors on this one. And as you can see, this figure is just absolutely small. Like, this is ridiculous. It's the same size as the juvenile one that Mattel released for their Fallen Kingdom line, and this was just not how big an Allosaurus is supposed to be. So I'm really glad that with the Allosaurus last year and this year, they made it bigger to match the adult version from the movies. Then we're gonna throw in the Extreme Damage Allosaurus from the Dominion toy line. And as you can see, they are slightly different. They are roughly the same size, except this one is taller because it's got the more accurate, longer legs. But this one is really cool too. This one was like the best one at the time of its release. I love the darker muted colors on this one, very naturalistic. And you know, obviously the size is a huge plus. I also really love the marbling effect on this Allosaurus. You know, I think it's really cool. Adds to like the cool naturalistic wild animal tone of this dinosaur. And I love the cool little battle damage feature. But it is really cool to compare both of these, you know, to compare both of the heads. I know this one has the more slightly cartoony head, but with the more CGI looking head sculpt, the accurate looking scratch marks, and the longer pointed teeth, this head is just much more superior in my opinion than this one. This one's still going to be a cool favorite of mine, but this one's just got to be the best one of them all in my opinion. Plus the scoots on its back aren't entirely accurate, though yes, they are smaller, which does look pretty cool. It's not as accurate as it's portrayed in this figure right here. So really cool. Oh, and the legs are just really weird and wonky on this one, really funky looking. I really did not like the legs on these Allosauruses, the previous ones. They just look super weird, and they somehow just didn't stand very well. I mean, this one stands pretty well, but I just don't like the legs on this one. This one, much more superior, in my opinion. Alright, everyone, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. For my final thoughts, I really enjoy this Allosaurus. It is the best one in my opinion. I love the colors, I love the sculpt, I love mainly the sculpt. It is more movie accurate, like I keep on saying, and it's just a really cool, unique, and fresh new Allosaurus figure from Mattel, and I love its bigger size. You know, it makes for a really cool looking Jurassic Park Allosaurus for kids to play with, but also for adult collectors like me to just display these on shelves or take really cool toy pictures of them outside. And I highly recommend picking this one up. Really cool looking. It's definitely much better in person, I would say. And yeah, I'd give this guy a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. So I really do love this Allosaurus a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next review.